Part 2. Welcome to Part 2 in this 5-part audio series on living with diabetes. Now that you understand the basics of diabetes, it's important to learn how to effectively monitor your blood sugar levels. Testing your blood sugar levels requires a blood sample that you may need to take several times a day. This can be one of the hardest parts for diabetics to come to grips with, especially if you're squeamish. But if you're going to properly manage your diabetes and live as normal a life as possible, it's something you need to get accustomed to doing. As we stated in Part 1, living with diabetes requires you to make changes to your lifestyle. Managing your diabetes can become second nature once you learn how to effectively monitor your blood glucose level. This will help you live a more normal life despite the fact that you are suffering from diabetes. Once you have diabetes, you have it for as long as you live, and it is something you cannot ignore. There is no cure for this disease, but it can be managed. But in order for you to effectively manage diabetes, you need to be able to monitor your blood glucose levels. If you can make these necessary changes and do everything you're told to do, there is a very good chance you'll be able to live a normal life. In order to monitor your blood glucose levels, you will need to have a glucometer or a glucose meter. This device will inform you how much glucose is in your blood. Using the device requires you to produce a relatively small amount of blood for the machine to read. Something called a lancet is typically included in glucose meter kits as well as a lancing device. A lancet is a very small needle that will be inserted into the tip of your finger. It's important you use a new lancet every time in order to prevent infection, even if you're healthy otherwise. The first step is to put a new lancet in the lancing device. Then take a test strip from the bottle and replace the cap after doing so. Next, insert the test strip into the glucose meter to get it ready for use. Make sure that you disinfect your hands by washing and applying disinfecting alcohol. Also, make sure that your hand is dry, as water or liquid can produce varying results on the glucose reading. Now, prick the tip of your finger with the lancing device and let blood flow out of it. Take the amount of blood for testing and place it on the test strip. Take some disinfected cotton and press it on the area from where you drew the blood. Most devices will automatically read the blood glucose level from the sample you provided and produce results in just a few seconds. Make sure you discard the test strip properly as well as the used lancet. Record the result in a logbook in order for you to effectively monitor your blood glucose levels during the day. This will assist you in preparing proper meals as well as knowing what kind of activities you should do or not do. If you don't take the proper precautions, diabetes can be a very serious disease with many complications. If you are living with diabetes, make sure you take the time to learn how to manage it in order to live the most normal life possible. Although there's currently no cure for diabetes, as you can see, there are ways to treat and manage it. It's also important to visit your physician regularly in order to guide you and effectively treat and manage the disease. As previously outlined, if you're suffering from diabetes, one way to manage it is to take a blood glucose reading several times a day and consider lifestyle changes as necessary. By effectively monitoring your blood glucose levels, you can be sure that managing diabetes will be easier on your part and will enable you to live a more normal life. Keep all these things in mind, and you'll be able to conquer diabetes. Don't forget to check your inbox for part 3 in this 5-part audio series on living with diabetes.